Yeah. Wait, should we record this? Because I saw this on my feed and I was going to leave a comment and I saw your comment on it. And then I
Yeah.
didn't even end up leaving my comment.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay.
Okay. When you start your business, no one ever prepares you for what's in store. So finding someone else who just gets it is sometimes the thing that can keep you pushing towards those big vision board business goals.
We're turning our Zoom coffee chats into a weekly, unfiltered podcast for online business owners. There were so many good ones, we always wanted to record them and repurpose them for content anyways. And that's on being a social media manager.
I'm Jessica Sheehy.
And I'm Madeline Daigan. And this is
hashtag
managed. I think it's perfect.
I like it. I like it.
Welcome back to hashtag managed. What a weekend of football, food, and some crazy commercials. I'm excited because, as you all know, like this was our Super Bowl. The ads,
That's
the
what I
ad
was
part.
thinking. Yeah. Yeah. This was. I mean, wow, I feel like every year just kind of like gets, better and better with commercials, but I feel like I know we have many thoughts about everything, and I know we watch, like most people go on their phones during the commercials. Like we were on our phones, but we were taking notes because we had to record this episode. But no, I thought I have many thoughts about the commercials, but I wanted to say like my first initial thought was I felt like quarter one was just so dry
Mm-hmm.
commercial wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like it got better. And then I felt like it kind of started falling off again. And at that point, I was falling asleep. So that's when I finished. And then the game was super boring. So that's when I finished watching.
So hearing you say that makes me just we same brain
Hmm.
because I was underwhelmed. Like I was underwhelmed by
Yeah.
a lot of them. There obviously were a lot, like a few that stuck out, which we'll go over. But
Hmm.
okay, let's start it off by talking about the first Super Bowl ad, which neither one of us predicted, and
No, I did not
which
see this coming.
which was the Dunkin' commercial. And what was funny is Jess and I were kind of texting throughout it because I just needed confirmation. And I remember the text, I was like, so it was that, right? Like we're counting that as the first ad. And
Yeah,
you're like,
because
yeah.
I think I had like a similar thought, and I know we've always said like the official rule, right, is like right after kickoff, that
Mm-hmm.
first ad is the first. But I think it was before. I don't remember if it specifically if it was before or after the coin toss or something, but an ad played, and I just remember watching, and I'm like, "There's no way that's the first ad." And Ryan's like, "No, he's like, we're not counting that." And then I was like, last year, Maddie and I said first ad after kickoff, and he's like, "Yeah, that's like the
Mm-hmm.
official. That should be the official rules." But yeah, I was really, I don't know, I was taken aback. I liked that they're really playing into the Dun Kings. I don't know if they're like
Mm-hmm.
really calling it like the Dun Kings 2.0, but I don't know. Very
I
interesting take on it, and just obviously Dunkin', huge company. They can who could afford the first ad slot? Dunkin'.
right. I think for me it was just such a not a drastic change, but wasn't last year with J-Lo and Ben, right? Like J-Lo was in the ad with him.
I think so. Yeah, because I think it also because I know they made like a either they made a joke in the ad or this is something I've seen kind of like a social campaign they've done for it after. But like Matt Damon like was in it. And I also thought like Mark Wahlberg was in it last year as well. Because when I think about like who's like Boston actors, like
Right.
the fact that Bill Belichick and his girlfriend was in it. Also, I didn't really realize that was his girlfriend, but Ryan was like, "That's his girlfriend," and I was like, "Okay." It's like I have to bounce off of him for like the actual like sports
Right.
references that come about in commercials, but
Yes.
I don't know. I get it. Like Bill Belichick, like Duncan, like okay, that makes sense. But I don't know. I didn't think it was a good taste, but I don't know. I do love Dunkin'. I know I've said my controversial take on the podcast
Mhm.
many a times before, but I'm a Dunkin' over Starbucks girly day after day. So,
And okay, this is I think a good segue into my next comment and observation, and I know you had the same. We kind of chatted about this already. The amount of celebrities that were in
mhm.
these ads that was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
where all your ad yeah, that's where all your ads spent, and it's kind of fitting since we recently talked about community versus audience and just, like, a good ad versus a
Mhm.
bad, and I'm just like, "You're just trying to name drop
Yeah.
here."
Aren't we kind of like past the day and age where it's like the wow factor I feel like is gone for an ad.
Mhm.
Like that's where I feel like it's really like changed. Now when they do like certain takes on like for example, I know last year like Uber Eats did like they brought back Rachel and Ross from Friends as like a reunion, you know,
Mm,
like in
mhm.
part of their ad. And I felt like that was creative in bringing in celebrities versus like who can we just have in the ad for like no apparent reason. I do think we're on the same page about one celebrity ad. I'm gonna save it
Okay.
because I know we're gonna talk about it, and so when we
Mhm.
circle back, I'll like bring it up. But it felt like such a yeah a big who's who like who can get the most celebrities in one ad slot, and I was reading that so obviously we've all probably have heard that commercials this year went for $8 million. And obviously this was what Super Bowl 59. So about 60 years ago, the first Super Bowl commercial, like the first year of commercials, it was around $40,000 per commercial. And I think that just kind of shows us like the value again, obviously the value of money completely different like 60 years ago, but still like shows the like power that these ads have and just their reach. Because we all know like there are so many people who tune in. Like I'm someone I do not watch NFL at all. I'm sorry, I don't even have, like,
No,
an
mhm.
actual, like, NFL team that I follow. I know that's such a controversial take, but anyway, I watch the Super Bowl every year. I watch it for the ads, the halftime show, and I think it's a great opportunity to have some really fun snacks. But, again, I wanted to talk about the cost because I think that goes hand in hand with what you were saying on the rest of their money and their budget was spent on that celebrity to come into
Mhm.
the ad slot. Because and also this might be a hot take, but I really do feel like that there were so many ads that were so similar
Mhm.
to each other that I almost felt like it was like similar or the same ad agencies who were pitching these to all these brands, and it was like, "Okay,
Yes.
go run with it." You know what I mean? And so that's where I felt like, don't let the power like, don't take away the power from the creative team. You know, we always
Mhm.
say, like there's that saying, right? Like, you like, clients always want a Ferrari on a Ford budget, like, I don't know. Again, obviously, people paying for a Super Bowl ad do not have a Ford budget, they have a Ferrari budget, you know, but they're kind of lacking in, like, the creative department, so anyway, all that being said, I do think we do have some personal favorites that I know overlap. I know Maddie has some favorites and I have some favorites that probably like differentiate. So should we dive into like just kind of running through like our favorite ads of the
Yes,
show
but
of the
okay, before we do that, like, if you had to just pick one, like, hands down, your favorite
Oh,
ad,
oh,
what is your favorite?
okay. Whew, hold on. I did not think this through
Okay, I
before,
have
guys.
my
Let me
clearly, I've been thinking about yes, because I had been thinking about that, and
Okay.
my final answer is Nikes. Nikes, which
The
and I th with the women, all women athletes, and it's been 27 years since Nike has done a Super Bowl commercial, so
mhm.
iconic. on so many levels, and
Yeah.
it's funny because yes, if you know, you know, like, yes, I'm an Adidas, like, stan, but
Mhm.
I was and tell me if you were doing this, with Ryan when, like, the commercial would come on and it wasn't, like, the logo and something wasn't right in your face, you, like, took a guess where I was just like, "Ooh, ooh," and I was so hoping it was gonna be an e.l.f. commercial because that was, like, one of our I feel
Oh,
like we
yeah,
talked
yeah,
about
yeah.
that. I was like, "Ooh, ooh, okay,
No,
all
I
women
thought so too,
sports,"
honestly. Yeah, I was
and then
like,
it was
Maddie's and came true.
right, and it was funny because I was sitting with my dad and he's like, "No, it's Nike," and, like, instantly I was like, "You're
Mhm.
right," and so good. So that is my
It was
final
good.
answer.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was so good. Cause I feel like too, like, what I know there's still so much room for improvement for, like, women in sports and,
Mhm,
women's sports marketing and all of that, but, like, also what a great time I think that we are alive and experiencing all of these really, really great athletes, and starting to see them, get the platforms and the paycheck that we know they deserve.
mhm.
So okay, I think that's a really good one. Okay, I have mine is so random, but this is what I'm going with. Okay, I'm going with this. One of my favorite ads of the night was so silly, but I thought it was very creative in a simple way. And I feel because I
Okay.
feel like with Super Bowl ads, sometimes I just know and again, I know they are pitched so many different ideas. You know, I think creatives are artists in their own right. My favorite ad of the night was actually Liquid Death. And so their ad was drinking on the job.
Mhm,
And I thought this ad was so good because one, so simple. It's Liquid Death is canned water, but it's mimicked to look like branded to look like it's a beer. You can drink it at a bar and not feel pressure like, oh, you're not drinking. So I feel like their branding is really great. Obviously, people know it's water in a can. It's a very well known brand. But I thought the ad was so great um, in the world of people and brands really getting away from like mass consumption of alcohol and
mhm.
switching to like non-alcoholic alternatives. Now, I thought it was so great. It made me think because, obviously we're all like fans of non-alcoholic brands and, alternative drinks and cannabis drinks and adaptogens and all of that. But I really thought like how controversial would that be for those brands to do that? In their ads. And so that's where I just thought that was such a good, simple thing. I think they showed like a surgeon chugging a liquid
Mhm.
death, just really like important jobs that like obviously, I don't think you can drink on any job, but just really playing into that notion. So that's gonna go for my favorite ad of the night because I felt like it was underrated from what I
Mhm.
remember, and I'm so sorry if there is one because clearly I didn't recognize them, but I don't think there was a celebrity in that ad.
Uh-uh.
It was just the brand, and it was creative, and hats off to their ad agency who put that together.
I didn't even think I love that you said that one because I hadn't even thought of it like, obviously, I knew, like, what they were getting at, like, the brief. Clearly, like, it's funny because when I watch
Mhm,
these commercials too, I like to see if I can, like, because briefs are so for those of you who if you were an advertising major like I was, where you like, an ad agency is given a very small like, it's normally, unless it has changed over how many years since I've graduated college, which I don't wanna even do that math, but we'll say we'll say 8, I don't know, but my point is, the briefs are like a sentence where they're like, "This is the demographic, this is what we're trying to like,
Yeah.
the emotion that we're trying to portray," and that's all you're given. That is literally all
Mhm,
you're given, and so the non-alc so obviously, I got the creative of, like, it looks like an alcoholic can, but it's
mhm,
not, but I feel like we had mentioned that too on our predictions where we were saying it would be cool to see, like, a non-alcoholic alcohol have its moment to shine, and so I feel like Liquid Death, like, they're onto something, and, like
mhm.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I love that you said that.
yeah, 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 yeah. I thought that one was I thought that was really good. I think I'm looking now and I can't believe I don't have it here in my notes, but I wanna say there was one brand who did non-alcoholic beer. And did you write that down? I didn't write that down, and now
Uh-uh.
I'm like, "Dang it." Because obviously one of my other favorites was Coors Light, but theirs was a case of the Mondays.
Yes. Yep.
It's just very funny, like, and I love that they have that on their branding now, but,
Mhm.
um, I don't know, gosh, I'm thinking, like, who I wanna say it's either Michelob or Heineken. Like, that's what I feel like it was leaning into, because
Mm.
I feel like they also had, the lead from Schitt's Creek, and then,
Oh, the
obviously she's the
pick
mom in Home
it's
Alone.
well, I think you were right, it was the McUltra, I
Yeah,
think.
okay, yeah, Mick Ultra. Yeah, 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 and I'm pretty sure that was, like, anyway, again, I know we're probably still so new, those brands are so small, but I don't know, I feel like eventually, like, we could see something a little bit more on the non-alcoholic route, so,
Mhm.
yeah, that was a really good one. Um I thought Squarespace had a pretty good ad,
I did
like,
like that one.
literally, like, that I thought that at first I was watching it and I'm like at first I didn't get it, and as, like, a Squarespace user, I'm like, "Wait," and then I realized what was happening, and I'm like, "Wait, I really like this ad. This was really creative."
I did, okay, I yes. Okay, one of my other favorites I feel like now we're getting our flow of just going back and forth.
Yep, yep.
The one that really, like, tugged at my heartstrings was the Google Pixel, with the
Oh, yeah,
dad,
yeah,
wanting to reenter the workforce, but he's been a dad for so long that and I think that is a big issue, like, if almost like ageism too, if we're being
yeah,
honest, where it's just, like,
yeah,
those
true.
gaps, like and I like that it was a dad because,
Mhm,
that's not the norm, really, and
mhm,
it definitely I feel like I've mentioned on the pod a few times where I want to get, like, a partnership with all these other phone companies and, like, test them out for a week and create content via that phone
mhm,
because I'm like, yes, we're both Apple users, but I'm just like, I really wanna try,
mhm.
like, I really see if the Google Pixel, like, their everybody says their camera is, like, amazing. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, that ad was really good, and I feel like we both put that in our feel good ad slot that I know we had on our bingo
mhm.
card, which I think really, really fits. I think the other one that I know we both agree on, I thought it was kind of, like, underrated, but also really good, but Instacart. Like, that was just very creative of, like, all the brands and mascots, like,
Again, I was
and it
guessing,
was so funny.
I was like,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
okay, so, like, when it first came on, like, did you have like, what were you thinking the commercial was gonna be for? I was at a
Honestly, like, at
loss.
first I can't remember what the first, like, mascot was, but I was like, "Oh, it's that brand's ad." Kind of I
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, kind of creative," and then I was like, "Is it Target?" Like, but then I was
Mm.
kind of like it was right when it was like, the groceries were being delivered on the doorstep. I was like, "Wait, it's just grocery focused." So that felt very random. So then I was like, maybe Walmart, because I feel like I've seen personally, like I've been getting so many like Walmart, like I forget what it's called, but they're like their own Instacart,
Mm.
are like their ads are all over everything I feel like I see. So yeah, I really didn't know. It had me guessing, which I thought was good because that definitely beats having me like sleeping during the
Yeah.
ad.
Yes. No, that was and what a creative way for like, those companies who, like, their iconic mascots, like the Green Giant,
Yeah.
Duracell's Bunny,
Mhm.
no, I thought that was a really good one.
Yeah. 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 I thought that was good. Um, so yeah, that was kind of underrated.
Okay, another that I it had me guessing where I was like I I was seriously, I was like, "What is this? What is this?" And it was ChatGPT, and I wish you could have seen me. I should have been recording my reaction because I literally, like, jumped out of my seat, and my dad was like, "We what? Like, calm down." I was like, "No." I was like, "This was one of our predictions." And I was like, "Yes." And then looking back
Mhm.
on it, I was like, "Okay, that's actually really cute." Like, I liked it was the
Mhm.
whole you went from cavemen to the invention of the wheel, where it's like, I think they took such a beautiful take on AI because AI is still scary and eh, it's so new.
Mhm.
It just like everything else when you're being an innovator is new. And so
Mhm.
I hats off to ChatGPT. I thought it was really good. Cause also like how do you create
Mhm.
an ad for AI, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, I thought it was really great because then I felt like there were so many avenues that they could have taken it that would have not been great. Like,
Mhm.
they could have like they could have ignored
Yeah.
the elephant in the room when it comes to all things like AI and kind of what people are thinking
Mhm.
about it. But I really feel like I've been reading like more and more articles around AI and like how people relate it to like the internet when the internet was super new. Market it very similar. And I think they are. And I thought that ad was really good. And I'm so happy that they had an ad slide. Not just because we had them on our bingo card, but just because I felt like that's the future. Like that's gonna weave into like so many things that we're doing. Another one that I really liked was, and I think we both had this, was Rocket. And I think Rocket, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you know more, but Ryan and I were trying to like look it up too. But I think they're the owners of like Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Money. I think
Yes. Yes.
like
And
the parent company.
mhm.
Yeah, but I know
I
obviously their ad was a little heartfelt. Like they played Country Roads. Like it kind of
mhm.
showed like bringing America together and, America relates with, we all have homes and families. And even though that, does look so different. And then I thought it was so creative, like after the fact, like they pan back into the stadium and then everyone's singing Country Roads. Like
Yep.
I thought that was so good as an ad.
I okay, and I seriously I did not know what rocket.com. I was like, "What is this?" Like, even after the ad, I was kinda like I think I was just tired, where I was like, "What is this?" So I went to the website, and it's a beautiful website, and, like, like, you could tell that their ad team,
Mhm.
n ha again, I like to pretend I was in that room with them at the time where if like the brand recognition, if they don't have much brand awareness, that people were gonna be like, "What is this?" and go to their website. So it's like they tied the ad into their digital advertising, which I'm a sucker for, especially like
Mhm.
I to this day, I tell people my favorite Super Bowl ad commercial of all time was in 2013, the Dunking in the Dark, where it was like Oreo
Mhm.
saw like their team, their social team saw like a moment that they could hop on, and it like kind of gave me that
Mhm.
feeling. Obviously, it was well planned
Yeah, yeah,
out,
yeah.
but
Right. Right, but kind of
yes,
recreating that, like,
yeah,
in their creative. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. I thought that was a really great way to, like, well round that, and I'd love to see that more. I'm surprised, like, more and more brands, like, don't do that at all, but I thought that was really good. Okay, we kinda were talking about, celebrities and how I felt like it didn't really make sense, but Tom Brady and Snoop Dogg and their ad around hate,
hmm
I thought that that was a really good combination. I mean, gosh, how many ads was Snoop Dogg and Tom Brady in? A lot.
right.
But, like, seeing them together seeing them together, in one ad, I feel like really probably made the impact that they were probably
hmm
anticipating, and that makes me happy.
Because like their influence, like
Yeah.
just the demographics that they yeah, that's probably, like, my 2nd favorite if I had to pick a favorite.
Mhm. Yeah. Agreed,
Um,
agreed.
okay, another interesting I just wanna make note of this one, but Angel Softs, like, where it was, like, the bathroom break, I was like,
I'm
"So
so glad you
cute."
added this one.
It was
Mhm.
just so cute. I was laughing though because I was like, that's not enough time for me to go to the bathroom,
I
like,
said the same
I
thing.
was just like, wow, you think," I'm like, "This is clearly for a man because who's going to the bathroom that quickly?" Like, running
Mhm.
basically. But it was
Yeah,
cute, like, the commentary, like, the little angel,
yeah.
it
I
was
feel like there's so
unexpected, like,
yeah. There's so many opportunities that I think brands can do that during the Super Bowl commercials that I feel like they more should do that, you know? You could be
yes.
a or you don't have to be beer, you could be like, you could be Coca-Cola, you could be Poppy, like, you could be Liquid Death, you could be like, "Hey, it's time,"
Yes.
go
No, just
grab, like, a fresh drink. Yeah, just something.
I feel like that's what I wanna see, like, next year on this I hope more brands are interactive, like, 'cause
Yeah.
I know one of our predictions, and maybe I missed it, but did you see any food ad with a QR code? 'Cause I didn't.
No. No, I didn't, and even on, like, the Uber Eats or DoorDash or whoever, maybe I think Uber Eats had a few ads, like, nothing, like,
No.
come on, give me something, like, incentivize me to make an
And
order. I think it'd be a great collaboration, like Uber Eats collabs with, like, I don't know, Walgreens or, "Oh, you need more
mhm,
chips, you need more ice, you need more something," like, order with this QR code or something, and I think that
mhm,
that could be good. Okay, one that brings me up to one thought, like, we're talking about interactive, and I don't
mhm.
remember I just I wrote down Yahoo email, and I think it was a Yahoo ad. I have to, like, look it up, but all it showed it had a celebrity, and I'm so sorry that I don't know his name. He's an older gentleman, and he literally held up a sign with an email, and it was so random. It was something something at yahoo.com, and I just looked at Ryan. I'm like, "Am I supposed to email this email? And then, like, what's gonna happen?" But honestly, I just was, like, so uninterested. I didn't
Yeah.
even email. And then I'm kind of like, "Wait, why didn't they just shoot me, like, a QR code that would open up my email app and, like, have it already," when you do, like, you can do a link to, like, send an email and you can put, like, a subject line in it, like, I don't know, they could have just been way more creative. I have no idea what it is. I
Wait,
was not
you're
super
right, but
intrigued.
you're gonna laugh at who the guy is and how, like,
Who is it?
it's Bill Murray.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and, like, how I love Bill Murray, but it's just that's
Wait, I'm
funny.
dying. Wait, I'm dying that I didn't even, like, recognize him.
Yeah, right,
That's hilarious.
right.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Uh,
That's funny.
oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, so
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
that one was random.
Well, kind of well, this is a funny segue because if those of you who don't know, like Bill Murray, I feel I have an invisible string tied to Bill Murray low key because like he has connections to Chicago and also Charleston. So I'm just like,
Mhm.
Bill, are we supposed to be besties? I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, um, so I had to check like I texted Jessica this what I'm about to say because I was confused at if it was national or if I was starting to see local ad commercials because for those of you like currently I'm back home in Indiana and I was seeing so many Indy 500 commercials and I was like they
Mhm.
were great ads like again for somebody who goes to the Indy 500 every year I applaud. I applaud. I'm like, "Dang, they're
Mhm.
getting some big money, okay." But
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
conclu
No,
so for
yeah.
it wa all of you guys saw Indy 500 commercials, so is from what I
And they were
gather.
really good too. They were
Yeah.
really good. Like, I thought, I wrote down, what a really great use of storytelling for
Yes,
the Indy 500, and that's what I was like, again, we've talked about storytelling being huge all the time, but, like, really focus on it in 2025. So I wrote down Indy 500 and I wrote storytelling. That's
and
my, like,
and
crazy
I And I love too that I don't know, I'm kind of loving that the Indy 500 has kind of become a theme on here because with last year's
Mhm.
I'm drawing a blank on her name, but Elf being one of the sponsors for the Indy 500, and I think that's also
Yeah.
where when we were talking about how we would love to see Elf do like a all women in sports type of ad campaign, um
Mhm.
I feel like the Indy 500, there's gonna get more and more recognition, and
Mhm.
seriously, like, it
Agreed.
is the greatest spectacle race spectacle in the world, as
Mhm.
they like to say, but
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
represent,
I like
represent.
Yes, I like it. I like it. And I love that do you wanna just say your last and final favorite
Okay,
one? Because I love
yes.
this one too.
So I loved Lay's chips and how they highlighted again, I think it ties into the Indy 500 and just the storytelling. So I feel like
Mhm.
there were I hated how many celebrities were in all these ads, but the ones that I think we talked about in this cut to the chase episode where there were there were still a few that did such a great job on storytelling, and I think these were the companies who didn't go with the same advertising agency, whatever it may be. But again,
Right.
Lay's just highlighting family farms
Mhm.
made me wa
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna eat all the chips in the world because wow."
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. Like a really good play like into storytelling and just like a company really sticking like true to their values, which I feel like
Mhm.
is, really really great. Obviously Lay's cuz what is it? Frito-Lay like huge company. Huge company. And
Mhm.
again, so many of these big companies like especially like in our like food industry like partner with like family owned farms because most farms are family owned or like through like intergenerational and so I thought it was really good and of course it's it's an ad without being, like, an ad, like, in your face,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Because I
Mhm.
feel like sometimes brands try to do the most and put their logos and their products, like, in the forefront, but honestly, like, if I see a yellow bag and a potato farm and someone, like, eating a chip, I know it's Lay's because of branding, something we talk about, like,
Mhm.
so often, so, yeah, I thought that was a really good one too. Yeah. Okay, we should do like maybe a maybe a post like on our Instagram or stories or something. Like I know there's so many more ads. That's also a number that a statistic that I should have pulled up, but we'd love to hear if you guys have any other favorite ads that we didn't mention here because I do feel like even now post Super Bowl, I'm seeing so many ads that I'm kind of like, "Wait, I don't remember watching this on Sunday night." Um, so yeah, if you guys have any favorites, please feel free to share with us on Instagram at hashtag managed. And if you're loving our new format of Monday and Thursday episodes, I want to invite you guys to tune in to our episode on this Thursday, where we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the Poppy and Ollie Pop drama that's happening. If you know, you know, but if you don't, tune in this Thursday to hear our take on all things happening in the alternative soda world. If content creation has you staring at a blank screen, contemplating a career change, you need to attend our How to Create Content for Clients, even if you've never worked in their industry webinar. We're breaking down how to create scroll stopping content without the stress, the second guessing, or the awkward, what should I create for this client moments. You'll learn a repeatable process to confidently create content for any industry, how to research, strategize, and deliver content that aligns with your client's goals, how to scale your content creation skills to fit your ever growing social media management business. Save your free seat now at hashtagmanaged.com/content before you waste another hour debating between two almost identical font choices and what do I write for this caption? Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you made it this far, I think we've officially become internet besties. You can always call into the hashtag hotline and say hello, leave a review, or ask your burning questions.
Make sure you follow, rate, and review the podcast wherever you're listening from. Subscribe to the Social Club newsletter for our weekly email, and shoot us a DM over at #managed on Instagram, letting us know what your biggest takeaway was from this episode.